Hey there, it's Marvina, and today my quick video is going to be on my 3 favorite tools that I like to use when I'm doing my mediumship readings, my tarot card readings, or even my soul clearing and my grid work. I feel like tools can sometimes help to bring in a little bit more information that intuitively that you might have missed. And I have to tell you that one of my very favorite tools that I use the most is the pendulum. So the pendulum is a way of connecting to your higher self and gathering information to get a yes or a no question, and sometimes even round out more of an answer. And always in any of the tools that you use, the better quality of question that you put out is going to help you to get answers of a better quality. So always be very mindful of how you word your questions, and I think your tools will be able to help you more. So the pendulum, when I get ready to use it, I always like to run it over some smudge, and my smudge mixture is equal parts white desert sage, cedar, and lavender and sweetgrass. And I just mix up these dried ingredients in a, um, a fireproof container, and you light it on fire, and then you snuff out the fire so that you have a smoke. And then you just kind of run your tool over it, whether it's your tarot cards or the pendulum or your dowsing rods or whatever it is that you're using. And sometimes I will drift it around my desk and under my chair, around myself. So smudge is one of the tools that I use, but not so much for divination, although that would be possible. But today's topic is on divination tools. The next tool that I use a lot is the tarot cards. So there's 78 cards in this tarot deck, and they just go through the different stages of life and the life lessons that we might be going through. And because I shuffle them really good and I meditate on that person and their questions and what can the cards offer them that can help them to kind of see through their challenges and get a better grip on what their mission is or what they need to do to stay focused on their highest soul mission and their path and purposes. Sometimes it will show us relationships that might be blocking us or that might be kind of negative or not working for us, and we may need to take some steps to like rethink our contract and our agreements with those people. But because they're so random, there's genius in the randomness, and they can just really dial in on some insight that we may have just kind of went over us. The next tool that I use is the dowsing rods. The dowsing rods are a very old ancient tool that people have used for many, many, many hundreds of years. My grandfather actually did dowsing on his farm to find water, and so that was the very first time that I ever saw dowsing. He used a peach tree limb, and we walked over his whole ranch looking for water. And while he was walking, he was holding it in his mind the clear intention to find water, to find where the water level was the highest and the most apt to be able for us to be able to drill down to and to get to the water. And when we were walking the land and there was no water underneath, the peach tree limbs stayed straight up. And then whenever we found the water, it just dived like right down and pointed. It started to shake first, and then it just dove to the ground. And so anyhow, it was such a cool experience, and it really stuck in my memory. And it was just, it saved so much labor of being able to just kind of get some insight about the probabilities of where to dig. And he did dig in that area, and they were able to create a really big pond from it. And it was a blessing to the land, to the animals, and to my grandparents. And it was the first time that I ever saw dowsing. My grandmother actually is the first one that ever showed me how to use the pendulum to douse. And what she used, instead of the teardrop, she used a needle and thread. And so that just goes to show you that you don't have to have fancy tools. You can work with what you have. But these are my three go-to tools that I use. I don't use them all of the time, but when I feel guided to use those tools, I pull them out, and they just help me to get a different perspective, or maybe to bring in an element that is missing, that needs to be spoken to help that person out, to be a blessing to whoever it is that I'm doing a reading for or doing a clearing for. And I always use my pendulum whenever I'm doing my soul clearing work, and I use a candle, and that's how I'm able to transmute the negative energies through the agent of fire and air. And that's just kind of the way I was taught. Everybody has their own way of doing things, but these are my three favorite tools to use. As always, the number one instrument and tool is going to be your own physical, mental, emotional, spiritual body. We are a very finely honed tool if you are clear. And the way you stay clear is by doing your spiritual development work, such as meditation, and then being very mindful of your lifestyle practices, like trying your best to eat clean, pure foods, and to drink pure, clean water. And that helps to keep the vessel at a very high vibration, and you're much more able to read clearly whenever the vessel that you're working through is pure to the highest that you can. So anyhow, I hope you've enjoyed this short little video today on psychic tools. If you have any questions, you can message me below or send me an email, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.